ConCourt. Our reporter Aldrin Sampear attended the court case today, and he joins us now live in studio. Aldrin, thanks very much for joining us. So there were a number of lawyers, I think 20 plus lawyers in the Constitutional Court today, excluding the judges. What were the main arguments that were presented by the main people, the litigants?
Well, the EFF was the first to go. Wim Trengove represented the EFF, and the arguments were set out there were obviously around the powers of the public protector, considering that there was already an agreement or proposal by the president that he's willing to pay back a portion of the money. Well, what the EFF sought to argue was that the president was in defiance of the oath of office that he took. He breached that code of ethics that he signed up for, and for that reason the president failed to uphold the Constitution and to protect the Constitution as per the oath that is taken. So really what the EFF is trying to do is trying to lay the grounds for an impeachment eventually, when that period comes, because the EFF has indicated that this is not the end of the matter. They also went as far as saying that the president deliberately defied the public protector, but after some pressing from the Constitutional Court judges, especially Justice Mogoeng, they then said that probably he didn't deliberately defy the public protector, but whatever he did was unlawful. We also had the arguments coming from the DA. The DA also on that issue around the defiance of the public, the defiance of the president, and saying that what the president did was unlawful and he did it to protect himself and to protect the family, and the way they put it is to protect the interest of one particular family, and referring of course to the Zuma family. We also had Corruption Watch, which made submissions. Remember that they were one of the last people to make heads of arguments, and they indicated, making a comparison between another Chapter 9 institution, the Human Rights Commission, saying that what the Constitutional Court, what the Constitution say about the Human Rights Commission is that the Human Rights Commission must take steps to secure redress. However, though, what it says about the public protector is that the public protector must take steps to implement remedial action.
All right, so the president had made some concessions before today. So what did his legal representatives bring to court?
Well, the big concession coming out of today's hearing, and I guess we all didn't see this one coming, the president's legal representative, Jeremy Gauntlet, saying that the president should have paid the money after the public protector indicated that after she made her findings known, otherwise he should have taken it under review, because those are the legal avenues available. You can't just ignore the public protector's findings. And this is based, of course, as well, on the Supreme Court of Appeal ruling with regards to the SABC matter, and Claudia Mutwening, the COO of the SABC, where the Supreme Court of Appeal indicated that you can't ignore the public protector's findings. On the other hand, remember that before that Supreme Court of Appeal hearing, we had the High Court ruling that said that the public protector's remedial actions are really not binding. The other big concession, or rather the information that we got to give us some sort of understanding why the president, after 2 years or 3 years of saying that he will not pay back the money, all of a sudden now decided to pay back the money, is the argument there by Gauntlet that if the court rules on rules on the powers of the public protector, and in terms of what the president did, and if he failed to uphold or protect the Constitution, that would mean it would lay the ground for an impeachment.
All right, so I guess people are going to ask questions. What about the Nkandla report? What now about the ad hoc committee that sat in Parliament to decide the fate of whether the president should pay back the money or not? What happens to their rulings and their findings?
Well, that's what the court has been grappling with, and specifically focusing on the national speaker's legal representative, as well as William Mokare, who was presenting the police ministries, that what happens to these reports, because we've already laid the ground that you cannot second guess the public protector's findings, and that's exactly, for instance, what the police ministry did. And what William Nkandla was indicating is that he got an instruction, the minister got an instruction from his master, which is the president, that go and investigate this. Who is he to defy the president? And the question that the judges then asked, that would your client, would he have known that what he was doing was unlawful? And he said that I don't know. Whether he knew what he did was unlawful. But what happens to the report, it seems to be concessions from both the national speaker's representative as well as the representatives from the police, that, listen, since there is legal ground, it has been said that you cannot second guess the public protector's report. I guess that those two reports fall away or they will be nullified.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I'm sure during the course of the programme we're going to get more reaction, what the opposition parties have thought about today's findings. But Aldrin Sampear, thank you very much for covering the story and sharing your thoughts with us today.